Hello, good evening. My name is Elias Munsha, and I'm coming to you live from Calgary, Alberta. I'm coming to you live from Munsha Law, which is our law firm here in Calgary, Alberta, in Canada. Thank you very much for joining me. Now, I need to say outrightly that Facebook has made some changes to pages. And so, for some reason, our page, Elias Munsha, is still not broadcasting our live. So this will be the second live that we are not going to get through our page. But I am going to try to see whether we are there, whether it's working. So I'm right now there. Okay, yeah, it is live. So on our page, if you can see us, oh no, yeah. Yeah, so there is something wrong with Facebook pages. So you're not able to see me on our Facebook, but I'm going to try and cheat the system a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to try and I am going to try and share from the Munsha Law Facebook page. There is definitely something wrong. I think Facebook tried to change this and then they've not done a good job. Okay, they've not done a good job. So let's see whether it will make a difference. Let's see whether that will make a difference. So I have tried to share it onto our page. I've tried to share it on our page because Facebook is misbehaving. I don't know why, we are not, it's not working on the Elias Munsha page. So what I've done is to try and share it and see whether that's going to work. Okay. So on the Elias Munsha page, can you see me or no, you can't see me? I shared it using the Munsha Law Facebook page, and I hope that we should be able to see whether we get any more feedback there. Okay, and so very sad that imagine you get your Facebook page going 128,000 followers, and then we can't do a live thing anyway. But I have another idea. This is the idea I have. I'm going to go there. This is the idea I have. And then I'm going to do, I'm just going to come live on the Facebook page. Okay. So the thing is, what is happening here is we have just tried to cheat the system a little bit. Not really cheating the system, but what I've done here is I have now created a separate broadcast that is ongoing live on my page. Okay, so we've tried to do that. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so we are coming to you on two platforms. The first platform is the usual platform that I use, which is StreamYard. However, due to several changes that have happened with my Facebook page, I can't use StreamYard. So I am live on both my Facebook page separately, a different link, a different feed, and on the usual StreamYard platform. Okay. And so let's see how it will go. The first thing that I would like us to talk about today is the issue of the national dress code. The issue of the national dress code. Now, we understand that the Minister of Religious Affairs did have a meeting somewhere where she said that Zambia was looking into the national dress code. However, 2 days later, the Ministry of Religious Affairs and Moral Guidance has now changed, national guidance, has now changed the story that in actual fact, they were not trying to say that they're going to have a national dress code. What they were trying to say is that they are now going to encourage people to come up with a Zambian dress. Okay? So apparently the 4-letter word makes a difference. So she wants Zambia to come up with a national dress, but she does not want to come up with a national dress code. And I know that there are several other people who are much more smarter than me, and so I'll leave it up to you to try and tell the difference between a national dress and a national dress code, right? Because by the time that you're saying that this is a national dress, you're almost saying that it's a national dress code. But anyway, I'll leave it up to you to try and figure that out. So the minister is trying to say, can we come up with a national dress? I think we already have a national dress in Zambia. It's known as a chitenge. That's why today, here at my law firm at Munsha Law, we decided to experiment on the national dress of Zambia. Of course, we are in Canada, but because I'm a Zambian and I own this law firm, I told people here today that we are going to try out the Zambian national dress. So I gave them the Chiwempala chitenges that I bought from my aunt's stand, from the stand of Mayosenge. So I gave my my co-workers, and so we have chitenges now here at Munshalo. From today, we'll be wearing chitenges in keeping up with the national dress. But the issue, though, is what they are saying with the national, with the chitenge, is to avoid immorality, you know, so that there isn't crimes and sexual crimes and everything else. So we must have a national dress, or we must have a national dress code. But anyway, if people want to be immoral, they can be immoral in short skirts as well as chitenges. In fact, chitenges could, in fact, be the easiest way to be immoral if you want to be immoral, isn't it? So what is the solution here? Immorality has very little to do with how you are dressing or anything like that, right? And so all this idea of saying that it's the dressing that is going to make us less immoral is irrelevant. As a matter of fact, the Minister of Religious Affairs and National Guidance is not committed to morality in Zambia. No, she's not. Because if she were committed to morality in Zambia, she was going to speak out against leaking condoms, substandard condoms, defective condoms that have been distributed to our people. She was going to say Honeybee is doing something immoral by distributing substandard condoms and substandard gloves and rotten medicine, right? You've seen it all, right? Even aspirin, just aspirin and Panadol, rotten. These are kind of things that are being distributed to the people of Zambia. And so if we are saying that we are a Ministry of Religious Affairs, we are a Christian country, we are concerned about Christian morality and everything else, let us be concerned about things that are actually destroying and killing our people, such as fake condoms. That is better morality, in my opinion. What do you think? Should morality just be about obligating people to wear a certain kind of dress or dress code? Ifitenge, is that what morality is all about? Is it about how people are wearing clothes or whatever it is? Or is morality about more than just clothes, right? Because it is hypocritical for us to be so concerned about what people are wearing, particularly women, because I don't think this dress code has anything to do with men, right? Because I don't think anyone is going to compel men to wear a particular dress in Zambia. No. It is aimed towards women, marginalization of women. That is what it is all about. And so if we are so concerned about women and we want to police what they wear and we want to police the way they appear and the way they look, why can't we be much more concerned about things that really matter, you know? Things like the rule of law, things like police not shooting innocent citizens, things like stealing, because there is a lot of stealing, like a lot of stealing right now by the government and the people who support the government. You know, contracts like Ndeke House, which is the Ministry of Health headquarters. You are going to see cadres gathering there from morning until evening, trying to have a chance at contracts so that they can steal and supply substandard medication. So that is our opinion really about the Ministry of National Guidance and Religious Affairs as far as dressing is concerned. Now, the funny thing is, the Honorable Minister of Religious Affairs is a Pentecostal like me. And so because she's a Pentecostal like me, I can relate to her worldview and her theology. The way we Pentecostals started. When we Pentecostals started, this is what we used to say, that God really looks at the heart. God does not look at the outward appearance. And so we became one of the first religious denominations to do away with all this restrictive dress code, right? You remember that as Pentecostals. We were the ones who started with minis. We are the ones who said we did away with traditions and pants and trousers for women. We liberated women. Very important. Pentecostals liberated women. How did Pentecostals liberate women? Pentecostals liberated women in the sense that the tradition, all these traditions of no, that women should only wear chitenges, we Pentecostals said no to that. This idea of saying, no, women are just good for the kitchen. We Pentecostals, when we just started, we said no. Women are leaders. That's why we had prophetesses, we had singers, we had women preachers. We are in the forefront of women liberation as the Pentecostal faith. So along the way, we have lost that faith, that theology, that spirit. We have lost it. We have now become what we condemned. Very, very serious. Pentecostals. We have become as traditional as the very traditions that we liberated our country from. And now it's not surprising that this Minister of Religious Affairs, who is a Pentecostal, now wants to begin policing women's bodies and policing their clothes. No. God does not look on the outside. God looks on the inside. Of course, I'm not saying that people are going to wear immorally, like, like people just wearing scanty clothes. No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this fixation on tradition and people have got to wear a certain way and things like that is incompatible with Pentecostal theology, and it is symptomatic of the fall of our theology, of our praxis as Pentecostals. What about things like water? You see, we Pentecostals, we are a renewal movement, meaning that we try to take people from their traditions to give them a renewed hope and a renewed faith. We are a renewal faith. So, for example, Pentecostals would go and evangelize to Roman Catholics. And what are Pentecostals doing by doing that? They're saying that Roman Catholics have been overtaken by this tradition of things like holy water, the sprinkling of the holy water. We escaped from that. A few years down the line, we are the ones now who are giving the so-called holy water to the people and anointing oil and useless doctrines, such as holy water. We have embraced the same doctrines that we were running away from. What about titles? When Pentecostalism started, it was a faith of brothers and sisters. That's what it was. In fact, that's why we were even nicknamed to be brother so and sister so. That's what we were. But born again was full of brothers and sisters. That is what we were. Even preachers, they were brother. Shima people, they were brother. Oh, brother so-and-so is going to preach for us. Brother so-and-so is the one that is going to evangelize. Sister so-and-so will be the preacher. Sister so-and-so will be the worship leader. That is what we were. That is how we started. That is who we are as Pentecostals. And then along the way, we ceased to be that egalitarian faith, that faith of equality, that faith that promoted equality. We became a faith of hierarchy and we became episcopal. We copied the very things that we were condemning from the Roman Catholics. And in no time, we, as the Pentecostal faith now, we became a faith of bishops. I'm a prophet, so I need to speak to my Pentecostal brothers and say, so we became a faith of bishops suddenly. But the shift that was really surprising was the shift of the Pentecostal Assemblies of God, because all along it was a custodian of Pentecostalism in Zambia. And then suddenly we shifted, including the PAOG, where it no longer was about the superintendent. We said we are going to have a chief bishop. And then the assistant of the chief bishop, we even came up with very, very fancy title, Assistant Chief Bishop. So you see how that we start as a renewal movement, and then we Christlize ourselves to become a traditional a movement, such that this Minister of Religious Affairs is free now to tell us that we've got to police the dress code. This is not the first time that this minister is talking about dress code. She always talks about such things to be part of the framework of national guidance or national morality. We say, no, we need to leave women alone. People do not commit adultery because of the way women are dressing. People do not rape because of the way women are dressing. Please, there is no correlation between rape and the way a woman dresses. And the governments, particularly government ministers, they need to make it very clear, and religious leaders, there is no connection between rape and how people dress. People that have been victims of rape, some were wearing a chitenge, and they are abused, they are raped. So this idea that it is clothing that leads to rape is nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Okay, it's absolute nonsense. What are those babies that are being raped wearing? I'm not talking about the sexual experimentation that happens in children or anything like that. What I'm talking about is rape. What causes rape? It has nothing to do with how a person is dressed. As a man, you can't just say that you are just reacting because of somebody dressed. No, you are a human being. Don't rape. That's it. Okay? And don't even say because of the way somebody was dressing. It had nothing to do with how somebody is dressing. It has everything to do with your actions as a man. So if we need any focus on these issues of morality and everything else, it should be focused on men. Okay? What are we telling men? How are we training our young men? What are we saying to our young men? We need to be clear about it. Don't rape. That's it. Okay? You won't die. Just ignore. Forget it. Go and do something else. Read, watch a movie, or go and punch the air or something like that. Do not just force yourself on another person. That's it. That is morality. It's not about changing how anybody is going to dress. But anyway, that's one of the things. And Zambia being what it is, it's multi-religious country, multi-faith. Even us among Christians, we've got different kinds of faith. And so we cannot say that we are going to just promote a particular tradition, a particular way of dressing, or a particular way of anything. No. We are a multicultural country. We are a multi-religious nation. And when we say this, it is because we don't want the state, together with the church, with various church traditions, to begin oppressing our people. Leave them alone. Leave the women alone. Okay? If a particular church has concerns about how people are dressing, they can address it in their pulpits. Zambia is not a pulpit. Okay? Cabinet is not a pulpit. Very important distinctions we need to draw there. The cabinet of Zambia is not a board of deacons. So President Lungu is not like the bishop who is presiding over a board of deacons. In the sense of cabinet ministers. No, those people who are there as cabinet ministers, their power is derived from the Constitution. And so their first duty is to obey the Constitution, follow the Constitution, and respect individual liberties. It is not to go and begin confusing matters and everything else. No. Okay? So that is very important to know. No matter how much spiritual you want to become, again, Zambia is a physical republic that God created, and then God made you and I to be part of that country. The physical country of Zambia is God's plan, is God's will. God likes it, and God likes different people, and He put them there. You are not the one who put them there. Some are believers, some are non-believers, some are good, some are bad, some are green, some are yellow, but they all belong to the subsistence of our republic. That is what it is. So you cannot begin bringing in useless and very confusing matters into the governance of our nation, conflating religious preferences to what should be the law of the land. No. To some of my friends who want to make Zambia turn into an Islamic country, the thing is, Zambia is not an Islamic country. As an Islamic country is an Islamic country. I don't know whether I'm making sense. So the declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation does not make Zambia Christian the way Islamic countries become Islamic. All right? If you want to create a nation that has Christianity, just like other Islamic countries have Islam, then you can go somewhere and create your own little country somewhere and make it into what you want to be. Zambia is a secular republic, Christian nation, quite all right. But it is a secular republic which respects different religions. That's what it does. Christian nation. But this Christian nation does not impose the Christian faith on the citizen. Very important. That's why we call it secular. When we say secular, we are not saying that it's a nation that has no God. No. What we are saying is that the state cannot impose its religion on the citizens. By the state, we mean the president, we mean cabinet. It cannot impose its faith on citizens. Because even if Zambia is a Christian nation, as a matter of an aspirational value, the Christian nation cannot be imposed on citizens by the state. That's a very important distinction. And so this idea of thinking that no, Zambia is a Christian nation and therefore we've got to impose a certain sectarian being a Pentecostal view on the citizens is wrong. It's not right. It's outright violates the Constitution. It's a violation of the Bill of Rights. Okay. Yeah. It's a violation of the Bill of Rights. Anyway, that's a little bit about the dressing. This is several months, if not a month, after about 20 days. This is about 20 days after the shooting of Sama and Kaunda. To date, we have received no report. We understand that the president gave an ultimatum for the report into the shooting. There is still no report. And just like I said the last time, I'm going to say it again. There is no report because the person who is responsible for those deaths is in State House right now. That's why there can be no report, right? Because the pattern of shooting, the pattern of killing comes from State House, okay? So I don't expect any report. Are you expecting reports about this? No. State House expects it to just die a natural death, but we need to continue talking. We need to continue advocating for the rule of law so that the police do not do the same thing again. Okay? The next issue that we've got to talk about is in Uganda. Now, the whole reason why we are trying to hold the government of Zambia accountable, very important. The reason why we do what we do to hold President Lungu and the police and the entire governance structure in our country, the reason why we want to hold it to accountability, it's because we don't want the repeat of Uganda in Zambia. We don't want. If there is any person who wants to become a dictator, like Museveni is a dictator in Uganda, let them go to Uganda or let them create another country somewhere else. Number, I think God has stopped making new countries. He's already created us in Zambia, so he's not making new countries. So you've got to comply with Zambian law. What is Zambian law? Respect for human rights. You know, it's very sad to see this opposition leader in Uganda being harassed the way he's been harassed. What has happened to Bobi Wine? Bobi Wine would be addressing the press and they tear gas his car. They were harassing a certain woman on the video that we saw. I understand that is his wife. I'm not sure. I can't confirm that. But somebody being undressed by the police in public view, making it difficult for this opposition leader to try and just aspire to lead his country of Uganda. That is not fair. So the reason why we are saying that Zambia must continue subsisting as a democratic state is for those reasons. That a Zambian spirit, a Zambian human being has value not only when they do something that is according to what the ruling party wants, but even in opposition. In other words, it's normal in Zambia to belong to the ruling party as well as belong to the opposition party. It is normal. It should be encouraged. That is who we are as a country. We are a democratic state. And as long as we remain a democratic state, we've got to fight any appearance of a dictatorship. And we've got to fight it. We are not going to just say, no, we will just ignore this and tolerate it and forget about it. No, Zambia is a democracy. If anyone is not willing or is unable to lead Zambia as a democracy, then what should they do? They should excuse themselves from leadership. That's what they should do. They should say, I have failed to lead. I can't lead this democratic state. But as long as we remain in a democratic state, we shall continue advocating for common sense and for the rule of law. Okay? That is why we do what we do. For those questioning our intentions, why are you talking like this? Do you want to stand? Do you want to be appointed as Attorney General or Minister of Justice? I could care less about any position. What I care far much more is the fact that Zambia remains subsisting as a democracy, because that is what it is. It is a democracy that respects every Zambian. The Zambians can have opinions. The Zambians can express their opinions. The Zambians can move around Umungulu, you know, from Kasama to Chipata. You don't even have a program. You just go. Freedom of movement. Freedom of association, that a Zambian can associate with whichever party they want, with whichever church they want, with whichever political party or grouping that they want, without facing the idea that the police are going to go after them. That is the kind of Zambia we want. And the reason is because that is what Kenneth Kaunda fought for, and Harry Mwanga Nkumbula, and Simon Mwansaka and Mama Julia Chikamoneka. All these, Mama Kankasa, they were freedom fighters. They were freedom fighters in order to deliver to every Zambian the promise of freedom, the promise of liberty, the promise of constitutional liberties. That is why we do what we do. And those who are unwilling to continue guaranteeing that freedom should excuse themselves and say we have failed to lead. Democracy is not an inconvenience, you know. Democracy is not something that is like a by-the-way thing. Zambian democracy is not a by-the-way thing. It's not an inconvenience. It is who we are as a country. We are a multi-party democratic state. That is who we are. Okay? Now, like I said earlier, we have two things going here. There is a live broadcast that is going off my page, and the reason is the live page, the Facebook page is not integrating with StreamYard after Facebook made some changes. Okay. However, so I'll be following comments from both sides. So for those that can see this, that is the link through which you can join us on. And then I can also see some comments from our feed, from our live feed. So I'll highlight some, and then we are going to see here. All right. So most of them, they are just saying that they are watching. Okay. Now, what are the comments coming up here on YouTube? And so, if you are on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Shendazuka says the whole finance minister doesn't know about monies paid. You see, Shendazukas, that's exactly what is happening. So the minister of finance woke up today and told the people of Zambia that he has no idea about any money that has been paid for the 40 ministers who overstayed. To recap this, the Constitutional Court ruled that Zambian ministers who overstayed in 2016 are supposed to pay back the treasury. Amounts are ranging between 40,000 to about 60,000, depending on how they did the calculations of the allowances that they were given. But the Patriotic Front Secretary General announced to Zambia that there are some well-wishers who have paid money for these 40 ministers. Well, some well-wishers somewhere have paid for these 40 ministers. But we understand that some of these ministers are saying, no, they paid on their own. And then the finance minister today actually says that he hasn't seen that money, which means the Secretary General of the Patriotic Front was lying. Now, is it surprising that he was lying? No. It's not surprising because he's a liar. That's the thing. The Patriotic Front is a party of liars. They make up things. Believe me. They make up things and then they tell us. They make up things. They just create things out of, unprovoked. Nobody went to Secretary General Mwila and told him, General Mwila, please lie, and forced him to lie. It was unprovoked, completely unprovoked, and lied that some well-wishers have paid for all the 40 ministers. The Minister of Finance says no, and several other people have said no. Or maybe it is true. Maybe Mwila had organized someone to pay, but because of this Nchekelako attitude of theft and Mwibala kind of philosophy, maybe the money disappeared in transit. So Secretary General Mwila assigned somebody to go and pay at the Ministry of Finance. And then along the way, somewhere, as the gentleman had the whole sack of money, and dollars, who knows, kwachas, to go and pay at the Ministry of Finance, maybe something happened in transit. He lost the money. So causing Secretary General Mwila to speculate that the money has been paid, when in actual fact, the money has not entered the treasury. So maybe they misled the gentleman Secretary General, who knows? But it's a whole party of thieves and liars, actually. I'm sorry. So forgive me for those people who have so much faith in the Patriotic Front. But the Patriotic Front has shown itself over and over again that it is a political, it's a criminal organization. It's a criminal organization that is presiding. That's why you can see all these things that they are coming up with. Leaking condoms, 42 million fire trucks, ambulances, it's NAPSA deal lands, Baobab land, all these scandals. It's because it matters which political party is leading. Okay. What about KCM? It's the same story with KCM. It's interesting. Justo J says plastic lawyer. Yeah. Plastic lawyer, me. Yeah. Plastic lawyer. It's interesting. Banda Beatwell, this is how we see that you guys get carried away by trivial issues. The dress code issue, to say the least, whether you like it or yes, Zambia is a different country now than the one in your mind. We Zambians know, we know what we want. I really don't know what the gentleman is talking about. For those who understand what this gentleman is saying, please let me know. Because me, I can't understand him. It's very difficult. Elijah Chanda, paid lawyer by imperialists. A shame at first you were busy supporting Lungu, then you changed goalpost after being paid by your godfathers. Oh, okay. Shem, at first Elijah Chanda has loaded his paragraph with so many things that you require a lot more time to rebut what he's saying. But, sometimes it's a waste of time to rebut everything that someone says. You just have to look at it and think it is not true. But my duty, Elijah Chanda, is to explain, to educate our people in Zambia so that they rise to the truth about how that they are being supplied with substandard medication. That's not about me, you see, because I can really get away with medication. I can afford to go to a pharmacy and buy medication. But Elijah Chanda, there are so many people in our country who depend upon the medicine that the government gives them in clinics. And when they go to the clinic, the government should supply true medicine. Now, imagine they go to the government clinics in Chiwempala, Chawama Clinic, in Milenge, or even at Livala, Chilenje Clinic. They go, and instead of being given Penv or Amoxil, they get given things that are rotten. Now, of course, you might think that the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm being paid by imperialists. But I'm saying this just to fight for that innocent human being. That's it. That's Zambian. So that when the government gives medicine, it's going to give to these Zambians good medicine. That's all. I don't have any other vested interest. The only vested interest I have is that our people in Chiwempala, in Milenge, in Kasompe, in Kapisha, in Chabanyama, in Maiteneke, our people, when they go to the clinic, that they are given medicine that works, that hospitals are not poisoning our people, that the government is not stealing from the poor and buying posh cars, that the president should have priorities instead of prioritizing Amanone, that's all I am about. There isn't a very sophisticated, complicated plan about what I do. It's very straightforward. Helping our people. That's it. But a person who spends $200 million on a jet is definitely not trying to help our people. $200 million a jet. They say that itself a jet. Some people are saying that no, it's 66 million. 66 million is the shell. Now you have to put the luxury. It's the luxury that makes that plane expensive. And what the Zambia Air Force is saying, military equipment. So they've put in some military equipment in it. And it's the military equipment that makes it $200 million. And they borrow a lot. So that they don't want choppers. Choppers make noise. They want extra luxurious airplane, while the poor are being poisoned with substandard Panadol. That is what I mean, Elijah. And I will work extra hard to make sure that I convince you, okay? I'll try to. I have no hurt feelings against you. I'm in fact doing what I'm doing for you, Elijah Chand. Oliver Mpondo, Mainza Chona, yes, the freedom that Mainza Chona and their friends fought for, And some of them were Malawans, came here in Zambia and fought for our freedom. Yeah, that's very important. But anyway, I think that is why we do what we do. As for the corruption that is going on, that is why we are fighting. Boswell Piri, forgive them. Forgive who? Forgive the people that forgive people like Chanda. No, they are completely forgiven. But of course, the major issue here is the integrity of our country, to see that every citizen, very important, to see that every citizen receives what is due to them. Due to them because the money is there. Very important. Yeah. Richard Simonga, not even UTH has medication. Not even UTH has medication. Where has the money gone? It's been stolen to fund by-elections, to fund the next elections, and Edgar Lungu has not yet shown us what Rupia Banda's show is very small. Wait until you see the show that is going to come very soon after May. The whole country will be painted in chitenges. That is where you are going to see the importance of the national dress code, because everyone will be in Lungu's chitenges, and you will buy it from the Presidential Empowerment Fund and campaign things. Precious Kangwai, kale nifye na imwe. Precious, are you talking to me or maybe you're talking to someone else? Kasama General also has no medication. Where has the money gone? It's been stolen. To buy a manone. It's pretty sad. Why is Honeybee defending itself now? Where are they getting the powers? Of course, they are defending themselves. They are Zambians, right? They are fellow citizens. So they are trying to defend themselves. And they've got a lawyer known as Tutu Angulube. See, if you were a Honeybee and you were trying to find a lawyer, this is just unsolicited advice, right? Why would you return a political operative to be your lawyer? Yeah, those are some of the things. Laban Musonda. Laban Musonda, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. How are you, sir? How are you, sir?
Yes, Laban.
Hello. Hello. How are you, sir?
Very well.
Yes, I would just like to add on the topic for today. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
At least nowadays, the way women are dressing, it's not giving us respect as men. You can find people, the way they're dressing, they don't even mind. Zambia now has become the western part of the world. They don't care the way they are dressing up. When you look back in those days, when you see a woman dressed up well, respective, even the way people address her, it is giving her respect. Nowadays, ukapeza mkazi, chiure chape, because of the way you are dressing up. So those ways are going out to those women, and they must change their mindset. They should dress respectively. Because tafipera omuchinji mwavafyashi ako ati palina avafyashi mwamona vena mano nafuara fyakapimpinya tafilepera nomuchinji. At least vachinje dress code. And another hand issue, if Museveni ali efoko efo naifo muaugust wala pena tufwire tulepende echalo letu bamdala.
Okay. Yeah, Laban Musonda. Now, this is how complicated the issue of dressing is. So it cuts across party lines, because according to what Laban is saying, he seems to be saying that Kupente Chaloredi, and I would assume that what he's talking about is the UPND. And so I'm non-partisan, and so I don't promote a particular party. There is only one party that I do not advocate for, and that is the PF, because it's a party of liars, it's a party of thieves, it's a party of rotten Panadol and leaking condoms. That's what the Patriotic Front is. So I don't support it. But on which political party I support? No, because I'm non-partisan. Okay? And I'm not even a politician. But what Laban said about dressing is he's saying that tajirepero mchinshi how people are dressing. I think every person can have opinions about dressing, and that is what makes our country vibrant. The only thing that I say no to is using Christianity and the power of the state to impose a dressing code upon the people. The other thing is, when there is this imposition of things on the people, it usually targets women unfairly. That is where my concerns are. Okay. So I'm against using the power of the state to impose a dressing code. That no. Okay. I disagree. Citizens can debate about it, it's okay. Churches can debate about it, it's okay. But never use the power of the state to impose a dress code. Please don't do that. Okay? If Zambian culture has changed to an extent where the dressing has changed, then let it be. This lie that it's the dress code that leads to criminal acts is not true. It's not supported by common sense. It's not supported by empirical evidence. Okay? So if people like Laban have concerns about dressing, it's okay. Right? You are a free human being. You can have concerns, but I don't want to see government imposing anything. I don't want our women to be unfairly targeted, because that's what it is. You're going to target women. And if you say that it's a particular dress code, if mufitenge ifitenge ifitenge efe bafuarira mumusana vyachitana over to the toes ifitenge iftari. Immorality. So immorality tayaba mfyakufuara yo. Immorality yaba mumutima. I'm trying to avoid Bemba as much as possible because we are supposed to be a really international international. Zambia is international. I am international. You are all international. I'm trying to imitate Dandy Crazy and this crazy idea of international. I'm obviously failing at it, but we are all international. So because we are international, we should avoid Bemba as much as possible. At least that's the feedback I'm receiving. But I need to emphasize that if you are trying to impose ifitenge, mufitenge muine, in the chitenges, things can happen, both good and bad. So it has nothing to do with that. Leave women alone. Okay? Can professions impose a dress code? Probably, because lawyers are supposed to dress a certain way. I understand. Don't tell anyone. I'm in my office here at Munshalo, and today I decided to come in exercise clothes, right? But I have my suits. If anything happens and there is an emergency thing we need to go to court for, I have my suits and my smart clothes. I'm going to change and do that, okay? But for now, I feel good, right? Because I can run around and exercise a little bit while I work, okay? But of course, professions can have their own dress codes, But is there any changes? Maybe lawyers should begin adjusting a little bit, because it makes no sense for a lawyer to be in a suit and tie, every day. For goodness sake, have lawyers sometimes show up in jeans. No, there is nothing like that. Lawyers must be smartly dressed all the time. Okay? Never. No short skirts, long skirts, blue or black. Socks must be traditional, black or blue or gray. You don't wear, those funny socks as a lawyer. No. Ruben Sapetulu. Ruben, are you there? Wiseman.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
How are you? It's raining here. How is the weather?
Oh no, the weather is very nice. It's about -4 here. This morning it was -4. I haven't been outside. So it's relatively cold but sunny. There is still snow on the ground. Yeah.
Okay, it's raining here. Thank you very much. Let me address one thing first. The issue of dress code, which the madam was talking about. I think for me, it has got nothing to do with anything, the issue of dress code. When I'm talking about dress code, let us tackle every individual. If you see the way police officers are dressing in Zambia, that is not their uniform, the way they are supposed to dress. You find police officers in Zambia, they are in the masks. If I can see the madam come up and say, no, police, can you please maintain your dress code? Stop putting if you have a mask, the way you are dressing on the masks, you can't be identified. That's not the way the professional police has to dress. Such kind of serious issues. You shouldn't go to tell someone how to dress before you clean his mind. So for me, I was looking forward to see where the madam can start first mentoring the mind of the people, make someone feel how important that person is. Even if when he's you want to walk half naked, I think you feel shy immediately. You feel understand how important he is, but you can't just tell someone to say no. You need to change the dress code. You have to put on this. But meanwhile, there is problem where that person is coming from. So for me, I think charity begins at home. If you see the way our MP dress, if you see our speaker, they are all ordinary things. Why should you keep on imposing on the women? So for me, let them first start with leave the women alone.
Thank you. Wise man Don says leave the women alone. Shenda Zuka says that elo ifitenge efyo batemwa. Do you agree? Shenda Zukas achani ati mufitenge efyo batemwa bani abatemwa ifitenge. Let me translate this in English. Who likes these fitenges? Men. Ati men like fitenges. Yeah. We are evading the real problem causing men to rape women. The uncontrolled consumption of sexual boosters should be the center of our focus. Yeah. And of course, Wise Man Don says this issue of dress code, you need to dress it where it starts from. Because even the police, they are wearing masks because it's necessary. So now, why should we impose dress codes on women? Sometimes women need to dress properly for the weather. It's too hot. So number two, hot mlefwa, they are wearing like they are lawyers. No, let lawyers wear what they are supposed to wear for their profession. Do not impose it on everyone. Everybody now should be looking like lawyers, blue, black, and white shirt inside. And long skirts. Nama long skirts na yambo kushota ku Zambia. So you find even lawyers na wobene barefola ko tuipi. Ama courts tamwa aircon gweno mwalikaba. So number something like that. So do not impose on everyone. In any case, even the chitenge will not be the solution, because according to Shenda Zuka, she's saying that even the chitenge itself, actually, it's fitenge. Shenda Zukas, what did you say about ifitenge? I want to find out. Citizens, what do you think about ifitenge? Mufitenge. But honestly, we need to mentor our young men. Our message should be, imagine if we changed the focus of our discussions from what young women are wearing to center it on the men. Focus on them. Imagine how much change we'll have. Nangu mubiri wa imashani waimo mubiri waima omubiri waimo mubiri auti mpaka fye yo kasambe kabutukeko, you know what I mean? Do something, exercise, do something, do something. Do not be fixed to go at kanofie. No. Kanofie what? Nango mubiri wako sashani waimo mubiri. Omubiri. You shouldn't be saying kanofie. No. Young men and young women. We shouldn't say no. Maybe for our time, No. You young men, change. That's it. Victor Kavimba.
Hello, my love.
Let me yes.
Yeah. Daddy con quería shimwe.
Lady Conka, Nadia dressing.
Vyose viromba paine iriya shida shari vyama dressing code divi vyakusha vyavene government divi apa turera vyapa ma election.
Okay, ati mukavota fewina.
Apa tuyevota fewina apa stadium ze vyapa nangu vandati ni mairo ipotali vapya vaipekanya.
Yes, because and
Like,
the reason
for
why
example, mama na kimpira kupesa ngale changiriro. Apa FFI kwa kozi ino chikosero chifeku vale vote kuti konza valembesha. Ukusala apa kusale ntungurusha kwa at least mule muna na background yo mule pitamu. Notifati awo vakupere chitenge awe vakuletera kabunga lolekshana mairo. Usho vakupere chitenge olomara wakesa kupera kwena ngu if you apparently foot again. So
thank you, Victor. Thank you, Victor. Victor, thank you. I think Victor is very clear about this. He's very clear, and I agree with him. The thing is, people should know how to vote, and voting is going to come next year. Amos Hakola is saying, maybe you have that position on dress code because you have seen how freedom of expression works in foreign countries. If you spent your whole life in Zambia, you are likely to hold the same backwards view. Okay. First of all, this seems to presuppose that the reason why I hold these views is because I live in Canada. No, I'm from Chuempala. That's where I was born. That's where I grew up as a boy. Okay, so I'm very much Chuempalan, and my mind is very Chuempala. Very Chuempala. My mind is extremely Chuempala. So that's where I come from. That's where I grew up. I grew up in Chuempala. That's who I am. So this idea that I'm saying this, it's because I live in a foreign country, is not true. The second thing is, the dressing is in Zambia. This idea that people are dressing the way they are dressing in Zambia because of some foreign power is not true. People in Zambia are dressing because they are in Zambia. They are Zambian. Miniskirts are Zambian dressing. Wearing pants is Zambian dressing. Amatoloshi, it's Zambian dressing. Wearing utuipi is Zambian dressing. It's one of the Zambian dressing. It's not anyone imposing on Zambians how to dress. So I don't see the relationship between me living here in Canada and how people are dressing in Zambia. It is Zambians who are dressing the way they are dressing. For me, my role is only to say that the state, the Zambian state, cannot impose a dress code on citizens. That is the only thing I'm saying. The other thing is, what I'm saying is, imposing a dress code in Zambia will disadvantage women. It will target women far much more than it will target men. We're going to create vigilantes that will be running after women. That is my only concern. That is my only concern. Do I want to see women harassed on the street as they are going to Kulima Tower on the basis of how somebody judges how much of their thigh is exposed? No. Do I think that most of the sexual violence is because of the dressing of women? No. My target is at men. Let young men and let older men, let men. The focus should be on men. Men's behavior. For men to know that they are not entitled to a woman's body simply because she has shown a little bit of thigh. That is where our focus should be. Imagine how our narrative would change if the government, for example, started embracing talking to men. Then this focus on what women are wearing, that's all I'm concerned about. Because many women are saying that people who rape, they rape people in chitenges, they rape even babies. For goodness sake, what has a baby done for the baby to be raped? And today we are saying that it's because of how women are dressing. No, there is no common sense. There is no connection between how women dress and sexual violence. The people who perpetrate sexual violence are mostly men, and they perpetrate it for entitlement. The fact that bantu na monetanda ati mpaka fye ilitanta na ya mabere namona kanofye ntonieko ku mabere ayo teta ya mabere yampite fye iyo wemwa umekuti yakupita ngekuba tipantu wamona mabere kano watonia kano watonia mulandu. That's where the focus should be. Anyway, this is 1 hour. I've got to go. It's true. This is work as well. So that we can feed our families. Okay? Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope to join you sometime. God bless you and God bless our country. Thank you. Bye.